All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving deep. We're not just talking about an artist. No, we're deconstructing a modern myth. It's this carefully crafted persona that's built for today's world, but it somehow still feels ancient and mysterious.
You know, this line just says it all, doesn't it? We're not talking about record deals and Billboard charts here. This is something else entirely. It's about a living legend, a whole phenomenon built on, well, atmosphere and pure mystique.
So, the big question is, who, or maybe what, is the figure behind this whole dark velvet phenomenon? And to really get it, you've got to look past the songs. We need to dive right into the architecture of the myth itself. It's this incredible mix of brand building, storytelling, and, modern-day legend making.
All right, let's get into it. The very first thing you have to wrap your head around is that in her world, Dark Velvet isn't just some catchy stage name. Nope, it's a title, and it's just one of many that her followers use to talk about her.
And just look at these titles. The Velvet Priestess, the voice beneath the hood. What's so wild is how they position her, right? She's not a singer or a rapper. She's a priestess, a keeper. Every single title hints at something bigger than just entertainment. It frames her music almost like a ritual.
But where did a legend this big even start? I mean, every great myth needs an origin story, right? And of course, her story isn't the typical discovered by a record label deal. Not even close. It's a story about this sudden, almost supernatural appearance.
So the legend kicks off in some forgotten underground club. And the way it's described, it wasn't a concert. It was more like this pivotal, almost spiritual event.
And here's how it supposedly went down. First, total blackout. The music just cuts, and the DJ vanishes. Then, a woman in a velvet hood just steps into the silence. She whispers into the mic, and suddenly the whole room is hers. And then, this slow, heavy, hypnotic beat starts to fill the space. See how deliberate that is? She commands the room before a single note is even played. The story goes that by sunrise, that club didn't just have a new favorite artist, it had a brand new myth. And that difference is absolutely everything.
Okay, so that's the origin story. But what's the philosophy holding this all together? Because the whole Dark Velvet persona isn't random. It's meticulously built on just a few core ideas.
Yep, just 3. Everything, and I mean everything, comes back to these 3 foundational pillars. Think of them as the operating system for the entire character.
Pillar number 1 is power through composure. She never shouts. It's all about this quiet authority that kind of calms a room right before it explodes. It's just a total masterclass in reverse psychology, you know? In a world where everyone is screaming for attention, her power comes from a whisper. It forces you to lean in.
Then we've got Pillar 2, seduction through intelligence. Her lyrics aren't just rhymes. They're psychological, they're poetic, they challenge you to think in a different way. The goal isn't just to make you feel the beat, it's to make you really think about the words. It's about teaching, shifting your perspective.
And the third pillar, mystery as protection. This might be the most important one. By only revealing little bits and pieces through symbols and masks, she sparks this endless debate about who she really is. She becomes this puzzle that fans just have to try and solve, which keeps the legend from ever getting boring. And this is where the Velvet Hood comes in. It's the perfect example of that third pillar in action. It's not just a cool costume choice. It's a statement about controlling what people see, what they know, and what stays powerful precisely because it's hidden.
Okay, so now let's look at how this whole philosophy actually translates into the art itself, the music and the visuals that her fans get to experience.
First, let's talk about the sound. It's this really deliberate fusion, right? It mixes hypnotic, slow rap with elements that feel, well, ancient, like ritual chanting. And check out the fan-created genres. Velvet Noir, Templewave. The audience is so into it that they're literally inventing new words just to describe her music. That's engagement. And the visuals are just as controlled. Every single thing you see, the black velvet, the maroon sigils, the candlelight, the smoke, it's all designed to create this very specific vibe. The source material calls it a temple built inside a nightclub. And honestly, that just hits the nail on the head.
But the lore goes even deeper than that. We're not just talking about her. There's a whole mythology here, complete with spirit guardians. Take the Midnight Panther. It's more than just cool imagery. It's a storytelling device. When fans see it, they know something big is about to go down.
Her live performances are called rituals for a reason. Look at this step-by-step process. The lights go almost completely dark.
A single red spotlight hits the stage. Incense smoke fills the air. She just appears, no introduction. And then the music starts, slow, as she begins to speak. There's no hype man, no big entrance, just this slow, deliberate takeover of the space, using darkness and silence as our main tools.
So what's the end game here? All of this incredible detail and myth-making. It doesn't just create fans who listen to her music. No, it creates this dedicated, almost scholarly culture around her. They actually call themselves the Velvet Circle. And listen to how they talk about her music. It's a tool for empowerment, for psychological awakening. It's not just for dancing. They see themselves as active participants in this whole legend. And this fan quote really gets to the heart of why it all works so well. Dark Velvet doesn't tell you who to be. She reminds you who you already are. The whole persona is like a mirror. By being this huge mystery, she lets listeners project their own search for identity and power onto her. And that makes the connection incredibly personal. And that brings us to the unanswered questions. This is the engine that keeps the whole thing going. The entire persona is built to create these questions and, more importantly, to never answer them. Every blank space in her story is an invitation for fans to guess, to debate, and to stay hooked.
This absolute dedication to the unknown is what guarantees the myth of Dark Velvet just keeps on growing. When you get right down to it, her power isn't in any answers she gives. It's in the perfectly crafted questions she leaves behind. Her real strength is in everything we don't know, everything that's been so brilliantly left up to our imagination.
But there's this one rumor that's always floating around, and it leaves us with one last, kind of mind-blowing thought to chew on. What if this entire persona, the music, the rituals, all of it, what if the artist herself isn't the source? What if she's just a channel, a translator for something much, much older?